I was so afraid that I would get up there and maybe even forget my name. Are you ever nervous speaking in meetings? Let's talk about this. How can you build your confidence in speaking English in meetings? It's very important for your career if you're working with an English company, isn't it? Or if you're looking for a job with an English company, you're going to have to do some interviews and that. So you're going to have to build your confidence. And there are some really good ways we can do this. So stay to the end. I have some bonuses for you at the end. And some of the most important material is throughout the video. And I'm really going to give you some good value here. Let me know in the comments. Are you looking for an English speaking job, or do you already, but you're just maybe feeling you're not getting ahead as fast as you would like to? There was a study by Cambridge University that showed that 80% of foreign English speakers are not confident in speaking in meetings and that. And it's actually holding their careers back. While many, probably most of them, have very good English. So we have to get over this. Today I want to cover a really good exercise that'll help you a lot. It's called role-playing. Have you ever role-played in English? Taken on a role and really tried to use your English, use simpler sentences, more complicated sentences, worked in the past, the present, and the future, varied your tone, maybe you used some emotion, you told a story, whatever. Practice makes perfect, doesn't it? But you need to practice in a safe place. So first of all, let's talk about the benefits. By role-playing, you're going to really improve your fluency and vocabulary. And fluency is the most important thing in the business world. Accuracy is okay. But most of my most successful students are more in the intermediate level than the advanced general English level. But they know that they can do what they're doing. They've gotten to the point where they're confident and they have the target English that they need for these meetings. So maybe you pick out a role like, okay, let's do a negotiation. And you act as the buyer or the seller. Maybe you run into some problems. There are some major disagreements. And you have to find alternative solutions. You need to compromise. So you have this language. I can understand why you want this in the contract. I'm not sure that we can deliver everything. Can you tell me what's really important, what you'd really like to have as far as this point? And why is it so important to you? And also by doing this exercise, you're going to expose yourself to industry-specific terminology in context, the way you actually use it, vocabulary that you use. All these things are going to increase your confidence. As you know your material, you're going to be confident. It's like doing a presentation. If you know the subject matter and you've prepared well, you have the resources you need, and you know who you're speaking with, you should be able to do a great job. You need to use your voice properly. You need to have some of the major points set down just in case you get nervous and you forget something. I flew airplanes for a long time, and a pilot without a checklist is just about useless. Have you ever heard that before? There'd be so many flying accidents if we didn't use a checklist. So definitely use a checklist if you're ever doing a presentation. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure everybody has the agenda. Make sure the agenda is agreed upon. Make sure you know how you're going to hook your audience, how you're going to introduce the topic, how you're going to cover the 3 most important points, and then 2 key issues that you want to talk about, and then maybe the main takeaway that you want to leave them with. And then ask the questions you want to ask the audience. All these things are important, so preparation is very important. And role-playing will help you with this. And in role-playing, you're working in a safe environment to practice without the real-world repercussions. You don't have to worry about losing your job or something or looking bad. But don't worry about those things in meetings, because people are human. we all know we have imperfections. If we don't realize that we're not perfect, there's something wrong with us. Wouldn't you say that's true? If you're doing your best and you're continuing to improve and you've reached a point in English where people can understand you, if they're having a problem with your accent or you're mispronouncing words, well, that's something that we can easily fix. So yes, pronunciation is important, and it is important to be understood. But if you mess up on a preposition or you miss an article or something, we don't care. We want to hear your message, and we want you to deliver it in an interesting way. Use your voice. Use the pitch of your voice, the tone of your voice, the loudness or the softness of your voice. Express yourself. Tell stories. You wouldn't guess what happened to me today, or you wouldn't guess what happened to our team when we tried this project before. Oh, what was it? Keep people interested. So have a safe environment, test it, play with it, see how you feel, what's natural to you. So you'll have an opportunity to receive constructive feedback and refine your communication strategies. It's nothing better than being able to practice in a good place with a mentor. Let me know if you'd like to see where your English is now, do an assessment. We can do this by having you do the 10-question quiz that I have. And this will show you if you're ready to take on an English job or you're ready to get promoted in your English job. And I'll give you a detailed report on where you are now. This is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You only have everything to gain from it. So that's my little advertisement. I love giving feedback and helping people with their communication strategies. Enhance cultural competence. Understand the nuances of doing business in Canada, the US, or doing business in the UK or in the Euro market. Have the right etiquette, understand it, practice it when we're role-playing or you're role-playing with somebody else. The way we do meetings. In North America, I've got to tell you that we are not very formal. We go to first names really quickly. And if somebody asks you how you are, it's different than Latin. North America, we're just, how are you today, Burt? Oh, I'm great. I'm doing good. How are you doing? A lot of people say, not so bad. Personally, I think that's kind of negative. But that's okay. It's not like Latin America where you tell them about your kids and you tell them about your dog and you tell them about your grandparents and everything. It doesn't work that way here. So the little etiquette things that people need to learn. And you can do that in role-playing situations. That's what you learn by doing these things. And by the way, recently I've been working with some of my students using ChatGPT to draw up narratives and that to role-play, having storylines that we can follow, that we can add to. And it's amazing when you actually put a company name in or something, then they'll be asking about the products that the company sells or the way they do business and that. So ChatGPT or other AI tools are so smart and they can give us so much value. So here's a couple role-playing scenarios. How about a client negotiation? Stimulates discussions involving contract issues, pricing, or service agreements. Is this something you do in your first language? Well, try doing it in English. Pricing's always a big issue, isn't it? You don't want to leave money on the table, but you don't want to lose the deal because you're just way out of line. Terms. And so much of this is about asking the questions, really understanding the client. And specifically the scope of services, isn't it? When we talk about service agreements. How much client service are you going to have to give? I know it's good to serve the client, but you have to price it into the contract, don't you? Things like this are important, and really understanding, well, how much of the material does the client understand it? Are they going to easily be able to onboard onto the application or not? Have they worked with similar applications in the past? And focus on persuasive language. active listening, and the idea of making compromises. Just gone through a big election in the US, and if you're like me, you'll probably listen to all sorts of things, all sorts of people talking, and making representations, and that even me being a Canadian, I was watching those US videos like crazy, and I think the whole world was kind of watching. But people had to make compromises, didn't they? They had to listen to the audience. It's the same in business. We have to be good listeners. We have to be responsive, don't we? And what about team meeting leadership? Can you lead a meeting? Would you like to practice leading a meeting? I was fortunate. For over 30 years I worked in business and had leading roles, and I had to lead meetings. I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I had to do these things. I'll tell you, I was very nervous about getting up and speaking in front of 200 or 300 people. You get used to it. After a while, it actually becomes fun, but you need to practice these things. That's how nervous I was when I first started speaking at those big Chamber of Commerce meetings. I was so afraid that I would get up there and maybe even forget my name, but you get used to it. And then you get used to speaking to teams and motivating people and sharing ideas and getting them to engage and cooperate with. Role-playing is a wonderful way to improve your English skills and build your confidence. I don't think hardly anything beats it. And as specific as we can get, using these AI tools to give us a model to talk about, the more value you will get from the experiment. And by the way, at the end of the video, make sure you click quiz so you get it, and you take you about 5-6 minutes to do it. However, the information I can glean from reviewing this is really something, and I can give you a very comprehensive report from what you tell me. But please do the 10 questions as straightforward and as comprehensively as you can. So we're going to emphasize clarity, organization, and engagement techniques when you do these role-playing exercises. I also have a 10-week program to transform your business English so you can be confident in meetings and giving presentations. This will change the way you do business. And it's only meant for people at intermediate and advanced levels in general English, and people who are very motivated to change where they are now, who want to move to a higher level. And here's an actionable tip for maximizing the role-playing exercises. Consistent practice. It's like anything. We have to do it routinely and consistently. They say if you want to form a good habit, do it same place at the same time every day. Never miss it more than 2 times. So regularly schedule those role-playing sessions to build and maintain your skills and move you to that next level and make you confident so you can get along in your career, get that English-speaking job, make more money, get promoted, give more value to the team, be seen as a higher level professional, and make your English skills as good as your other professional skills. And after each session, I want you to reflect on the performance during these role-playing exercises and always try to improve. Maybe even do it again and see if you can add a little vocabulary. Get a little more excitement in it. Make more of an impression. Maybe connect with the other person better. Be a good communicator. That's what I do. Teacher Burt. I teach English business communication skills.